G'day. This is going to be the last video I do for my recommended flathead rods. And it might not even be recommended. So anyway, we'll just jump into it, do a bit of a pro and con. So this here, I've got the, and sorry Daiwa, everything I own is Daiwa, aside from this ATC Combat. It's pretty good. It's had its issues. Anyway, I'm not here to cast shade, but at the same time, I'm not paid to say one thing as opposed to another. Don't get paid at all. So say what I like. The rod here, fantastic. Really love it. Not necessarily flathead fishing. Great feel, great weight, etc. But look, we'll go into that a bit more detail. So this is pretty much a swim bait rod. It is, should be like 7.5 foot maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah, 732. So that's 2.21 meters. The max gram you can throw on this is 100, which is why you'll see that MMD wide and glide there at 50 gram. Slow sinking, that one. The line rated rod, the line rating on this rod is 9 to 15 kilo. So yeah, you can throw plenty of baits on this, plenty of glides, plenty of big plastics, all that kind of gear on this rod. And that reels, you know, it does the job. If I had my time again, I would pick a Daiwa. Yeah, anyway, we'll move on. The problem. So I've caught nice flathead on this. Maybe they just weren't big enough flathead. And I'll get to why I'm saying that. It affords you the ability to throw heavier lures, those 35, 40 gram plus, which your 5 to 10 kilo snapper rod just won't let you do. Problem being, you know, I threw the Ultra Guard with this, which is then that sits around 30 gram. So you can throw that on the snapper rod, and that's what I do now. But I was throwing it on this. Now, you know, long draws, you can get a nice meandering action out of that lure. Just a few cranks of the handle, you can get it sort of meandering in a more meandering / jerk baiting with a bibless lure, I guess you'd say. I'm sure there's a technical term that I can't think of. But yeah, essentially you can definitely work a lure. The length of the rod gives you so much freedom to, you know, if you really want to short jab it, you've got that. If you really want to have a long, slow draw, because that gar lure, my understanding, and I've not really used it for the intended purpose, which is to cast out for sort of salmon, tailor, kingfish, and it's a sort of faster retrieve lure, so it does sort of move through the water with a little side-to-side action, but that longer draw will give you a slower, sliding, gliding kind of action for a stick bait anyway. So the length of the rod, fantastic. Okay, problem. I think so I haven't caught any monster flatty on this, and that's all relative too. But the biggest fish, I think like 65 or 66 on this. And so out goes the Ultra Guard, a few long draws, you know, big weight, leaned into it, and I'm winding, right? I've got that, you know, butt my arm and I'm winding, and halfway through I'm like, oh, you know, Devo, dropped a fish. I'm like, oh, it still kind of feels heavy, so I'm winding. And don't get me wrong, flatty do swim at you. And he was swimming at me. But 66 swimming at me, you'd still want to have enough flex in that tip to keep the hooks in its mouth when she wants to turn in a funny direction and start shaking her head. And that's the issue. This rod, you can throw big baits, but there's no flex in the tip. And look, you can't have the best of both worlds. Maybe there's $1 billion rod that allows you to throw whatever buddy size lure you like, have plenty of flex in the tip, fast action, and a strong butt. But for the average angler that can, you know, even afford to fork out a bit of money for the tatulas, because they're not that expensive. It's all relative, but you know, that's just it's not an option. You have to have a sort of stiffer top end sort of rod to be able to throw these sorts of things without breaking them off. But yeah, the only problem with the old Floody, unless it's a 90, and I've not even caught a 90. Like I pulled in an 82 on that 2 to 6 kilo rod, and that was like I would prefer not to do that. I prefer to have something like that on 5 to 10 or a 3 to 8. I'd be happy with that. Not a 2 to 6. You can just get in a lot of trouble. Well, you can do it for sure, but I want to increase the chances that that fish is going in the boat. Opposite end of the spectrum, this rod here, it's just too stiff for me. I horsed that flathead into the boat without even trying to horse it in. I was just turning the handle of that reel so I could keep the hooks in the mouth, and I could barely feel any weight up the top. So that's sort of my issue with these sorts of rods. I mean, it's a great rod, don't get me wrong. And I'm sure if you had a meter on there, you'd feel every centimetre of that fish trying to get away and throw your hook. But yeah, when you're getting 60s and 70s, it's, I don't know, it's almost like an injustice to be able to get him in the net so easy. And geez, I'll tell you what, when you get them in green, because you've been able to just absolutely like haul them in, is that they are so green when they get to the boat. And it's not ideal to have a flatty thrashing around on the deck of your boat, because he's just got heaps of energy left. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of it, but you know, at the end of the day, you want to get him in the boat, so you're trying to do that. But yeah, again, so yeah, honest review of swim baiting for flathead. I just don't think I'll do it. I think I'll definitely be fishing more larger soft plastics that I can slow roll. I guess that's the difficulty, because the pause on these glides is just, it's dynamite. Like, it does look real good, and you can put a pause in after a fairly strong draw where it's really coming around on itself, or you can do real subtle where you're the meandering glide is sort of tight but really slow, and then that pause is just slowing down, and it looks great. Like, it's a really great visual way to fish. So I guess in summary, I might talk about something that's not rod or reel related, which is whoever is able to make a 150 glide for flathead in 25 to 30 grams, you'll have my business. You'll have the business of people who have got a snapper rod in their garage, whether it's you know, they've got a 4000 Sienna on a snapper raider, you know, relatively cost-effective way to fish big baits for flathead with soft plastics. If you could get the weight down on the glide, and if I was more industrious, I'd figure out some sort of way that you could do that. But I guess when it comes to buoyancy, that's your biggest thing. You want to have the right buoyancy over a large enough profile lure. And unfortunately, I think that realistically is just about making the profile as super slim as possible, so that your maximum volume can equal a particular buoyancy for less weight. But yeah, look, would love to throw it more. Would love to throw the glide more. And I don't throw it for two reasons. One is the injustice of hauling in a respectable fish without too much resistance. And yeah, I guess the second thing is I don't throw it because I just worry about keeping the hooks in that fish's mouth. But anyway, look, there's going to be plenty of opinions on this. I know that glide baiting for flathead is a big up and coming, but I just won't be doing that much of it. And it's a shame, because these are fantastic profiles, and I love the size. 150 pluses, that's where I'm at. I'm not fishing anything smaller than 150 nowadays for flatty, because I want to get those bigger fish. And look, maybe it's worth it when I do get a meatery and I am able to put it in the boat because I've got a heavier stick like this. But for the time being, I'll be on the snapper rod, 150mm jerk baits, 150mm soft plastics, and slow rolling. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Unfortunately, this isn't a super positive one. I love the rod, love the Daiwa, this patchouli here in the swim bait, the ATC Combat, the 200, it's pretty good. You know, you've heard what I think on that one. The MMD Glide, geez, it looks fantastic. I love the finish. I love the fact that MMD are coming out with some just awesome looking baits there. Just, yeah, I'm a massive fan. But practically, I won't be using this one a whole lot. Anyway, thanks for that. And till then, check out some of my other videos I've got on sort of flathead fishing gear. And if you want, I can run through sort of a standard bait size for certain sizes of flatties and how I fish them. So I can always run through that. I can talk underwater when it comes to fishing. So yeah, hit me up, send me a comment, send me a message. Let me know what you want to hear about when it comes to flathead fishing, and yeah, happy to make a video for you guys. And until then, keep fishing.